Hello and welcome back to ARAH, G.I. Joe Real American Hero Costume Club here on the YouTube channel. I am your host and I am your founder, Wild Bill. In the last video, we had concluded Article 6, Code of Conduct's first half, and that was the introduction and the 3 R's. So now we're going to do the second half. Okay, so without further ado, ARAH members should always have fun. That is, I keep saying that it's our number one rule, but really, I felt that the respect rules should trump that. But realistically, everyone should always have fun. You know, be silly, be creative. And anyone who tells that you're being silly, well, they're just a little rigid. Have fun with it. Have fun with your character. In 2011, I was Chuckles. In the Dragon Con parade, got my butt kicked because we were trying to recreate the IDW comics where Chuckles kills Cobra Commander. We did that, and I did it a couple times, actually, and I caught them off guard the first time, and they were so mad at themselves. And the second time, we had a Scout 2 full of dreadnoughts, and I impressed a grenade in their lap, fake grenade, obviously. And as I was running past, I heard one of the dreadnoughts say, "Blimey, that Joey just fragged us," right? Completely unscripted. Like, I had no clue they were going to say that. They had no clue I was going to do what I did. And it was perfect. It was like we were on the same page, right? We had fun with it. Later, when I made my second run on Cobra Commander, Snake Eyes was supposed to come with me, but all his firearm props had dropped out of their holsters as he was running, and so we had to go pick them up. And so that left me wide open to have this shorter Cobra soldier. She threw me to the ground. I mean, I got asphalt rash on my arms, and threw me to the ground. Zorana came over, was wearing these heels, and just dug them right in my back. And she didn't mean to actually hurt me, and she apologized. And I'm like, "Don't break character. This is great." The crowd was eating it up. All right, so there's YouTube video out there of me getting my butt kicked by Cobra. But that's what I mean by always have fun. Play with it. It's life is about being serious when we're at our workplace, when we're paying our bills, when we're this is for fun. So have fun with it. ARAH members. Now, mind you, when I say ARAH members, I mean anyone who is either you're an official member or you're an unofficial member, you're a guest, you're whatever, you're on our Facebook page, you are interacting with us, while you're in our house, you abide by our rules. That's kind of, just as it would be if I were, in a guest of another club, I would be expected to obey their rules too. It's kind of the same thing. So that's what I mean by ARAH members. Always cast a positive light to themselves, the club, and the franchise. And that just kind of goes without saying earlier about the, respecting the franchise, respecting each other, and respecting the fan base. I mean, it's just kind of reiterating the same thing, but just doing it in a positive light. ARAH members shall refrain from vulgar gestures, obscene language. I kind of reversed that. Vulgar language, obscene gestures. ARAH members shall refrain from using drugs, alcohol, tobacco while in the presence of the public unless in areas where it is designated as appropriate, such as some convention settings. Okay. These are important because these are an image issue, right? I keep saying that, don't swear like the proverbial sailor. Don't channel your inner shipwreck and try to swear like a proverbial sailor. I could swear like a sailor too. I mean, I'm known to drop the F-bomb, but there are times and places where that's not appropriate, right? I liken this to say, speak to each other, engage in conversation, keep your language as if you were sitting in a church. Now, those of you who are not church-minded and wouldn't care about dropping the F-bomb in a church, well, okay, you're a special breed, but you know what I'm saying, right? We have an image issue here to uphold, not only to keep Hasbro from shutting us down, but this is a family-friendly environment. And even if you swear around your kids, other parents may not appreciate you swearing around their kids. So let's be respectful and keep the language, the gestures, and the behaviors down. Drugs, that goes without saying. I get that there are certain states that have legalized marijuana, and I mean, I can't really comment to that. However, if you are wearing apparel that denotes you a member as our club, or you are wearing your G.I. Joe kit, verboten, forbidden, do not do it, right? Mostly because it is a bad image that you're setting, you're projecting a bad image for kids to follow, right? Whether you like it or not, we are representing a franchise that has, over the last 40 plus years has engaged directly with kids and has molded and shaped their minds. So what we do does matter. How we conduct ourselves does matter, right? It is very important for us to have a very positive image, positive example set for kids. Okay. And when I say, unless in areas designated as appropriate, if we're adults, we're at a bar, you're going to drink at a bar. You're probably, you might smoke at a bar unless they're completely smoke free or they have smoking sections. When I say convention settings, some conventions have after parties where full on drinking is encouraged and debaucheries happen. That's what I mean by that. But the reality is, I would ask that you not participate in any of these activities when you're in kit. Period. Please. Thank you. Here's the more. So let me backtrack for a moment. Those are low level stuff, really, and those are things that team leaders. This is for the future. Team leaders, you can handle this, those sort of infractions, at your level. What I'm going to get into now is stuff that is beyond you and that will absolutely need to be kicked up to the sector command first sergeant, who will kick it up to a tactical briefing, who will then immediately commence with a court martial of that member. Should it be a non-member? Well, that just means we're just booting them out of the Facebook page. We're booting them off our social media. We're removing their presence from our club setting. I mean, that's all there is to it. But ARAH members shall refrain from any form of aggressive or violent behavior, be it verbal or physical altercations. I will not tolerate physical violence against each other. I will not tolerate bullying. I will not tolerate threats. Any of that stuff, right? Think of it this way. If it is a behavior that can land you in cuffs and have you hauled off, taken to jail, verboten, it is not allowed here either, right? And think of it this way. Anything that can put you in cuffs and haul you off to jail is all likelihood. It's one of those things that's probably going to get you banned from this club. Okay. If it's a ticketable offense, we might sanction you somehow, the gestures and language and such. But as far as physical violence, it's the quickest way to get you bounced out of this club. Likewise, all ARAH members shall refrain from engaging in acts of harassment of any form. That does include sexual harassment. I know that it's hard to believe that sexual harassment could even exist in a fan community, but it can. So don't engage in that either. It will not be tolerated. And I liken it this way. We're not a meat market. We're not here to hit on, guys. We're not here to hit on chicks. Girls, we're not here to hit on guys, and or guy, girl, whatever. Okay, just because you see relationships in G.I. Joe doesn't mean that you have to impose those here, right? Destro, Baroness were an item. Flint, Lady J were an item. Um, Depending on which source you go with, Scarlet and Snake Eyes were an item, or Scarlet and Duke were an item. Okay, we see this, I get it, but and just because you're those characters doesn't empower you to go hit on the opposite member there. Okay, like if we have a Baroness, which I would love to have a Baroness, but if we had a Baroness and we have a Destro, right? They're, you know, public displays of desire, affections, what have you, when the other person is not into that. I mean, that's not good, and that's an image issue, and it's, you know, you're making that other person uncomfortable. So don't do it. You know, play around, joke around, sure, but, you know, maintain professionalism so that, I mean, you know, you're not crossing any lines. Okay, I don't want to have to deal with anybody who, you know, like, hey, this person harassed me. Okay, you know, someone comes to me and says so and so harassed me, and I'm not feeling okay with that. Now I'm going to have to do something about it. So conduct yourselves accordingly. Okay. To add a little levity, ARAH members shall be honest and polite. In the very last, ARAH members shall refrain from engaging in acts of theft, deception, or coerced manipulation for personal gain. That one's important, and the reason why that is so important is because, to be transparent, that's exactly why our one guy that was banned, that was why he was banned. He was banned because he engaged in what I classify as theft. He was in a trade agreement with another member. The other member, in good faith, provided his end of the bargain. He failed to provide his end of the bargain, and as such, he got banned for it. Even after he was given a way out, he was told to send the stuff back, and then he would have been put on probation for a year. He would not have been in good conduct, or he would not have been a member in good standing for a year. He would have been barred from trade agreements for a year, and then he could have had his rights restored. But he chose not to take that that avenue, and we banned him. And I gave him a year. I told him in the summary judgment, when I said that he was banned, I said, you have a year to make up for this, and if you make up for this, I can lift the ban and I'll let you come back into the club. Never heard from him ever again, so he is permanently banned. Theft, manipulation, coercion, threats of violence, physical violence, harassment, these are things that in all likelihood will get you banned from the club. I won't tolerate that. We're here to have fun. We're not here to victimize others. If you're a victimizer, stay the hell out. Point blank. Okay? Anyone who violates these simple charter rules can be brought up on the single charge of conduct unbecoming of a Joe. That's the only charge in this club, is conduct unbecoming. It's kind of a catch-all for all rule violations. While morality can't be legislated for the most part, me asking you to be polite and honest and all that, it's still greatly encouraged that club members and its guests always do the right thing and conduct themselves with the decorum of civility, decency, and respect. And that's it right there. That's what I'm asking for. I ask for all of us to be civil. I ask for all of us to be decent. I ask for all of us to be respectful. And that's it. That's your code of conduct. Because all other charter rules belong in other areas. Like the next section, Article 7, is event classifications and costume standards. So the rules governing those specific parts of the charter we'll talk to next. We've done code of conduct. It's done. It's over. And hopefully it's clear and concise for you. If you have any comments, questions, or concerns, drop them in the comment section below, and I'll be glad to answer those questions. But I think I've been pretty straightforward, and this is a code of conduct that everyone who comes in our doors, whether you're a guest or you're an official member, you're expected to follow. or there's the door and don't come back, please. So, with that said, Yojo, Cobra, knowing is half the battle. I apologize, this went 15 minutes, but it was important. So, I'll talk to you soon. And like I said, the next one will be event classifications and costume standards. So, stay tuned for that. In all likelihood, that's going to be filmed later at another time. At any rate, have a good day. Take care of each other and yourselves. And we'll talk to you soon.